Good morning. Happy Thursday, y'all. I am posted up here in chilly Philadelphia today. Gotta talk to Larry Steinhaus about that. So I came up on a Tuesday evening, and all day yesterday we were filming some content. And actually, there was a group of folks. So out in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So I met a few of you out there. That was a fun time. And then today, Langhorne, Pennsylvania. If y'all are in the area, Larry Steinhaus is holding his Thursday night class. I'll be there. So I hope to see all of y'all out there today. But I'll tell you, I had some beef with Larry because Larry was supposed to come to Florida. And then about 3 weeks ago or so, I was down in Acapulco and he calls me up and he's like, Hannah, it would just be so much easier if you were to come up here to Pennsylvania. And I'm like, Larry, the last thing I want to do is go to Pennsylvania in January. There's a reason I live in Florida, let me tell you. So I've been kind of joking with him. I'm like, man, I don't want to come up there. But actually, I brought the good weather with me. So it's been sunny. It's been in the 40s while I've been up here. So it's been really, really nice. And I will tell you, actually, this hotel room that I'm staying in, it's a very nice little suite too. So it's been lovely here. But tomorrow we're heading back home to Florida. I have a 5 a.m. flight. Just want to get back home, see my kitty cat girls. And then coming up, okay, so I'm spending my weekend on Monday. I am scheduled to go to Miami because your girl, I haven't been talking about this, but I am doing an Amazon Prime TV show. So it's a platform called Women in Power, and they invited me on to do an episode for their series that they have. I don't know really what to expect. Obviously I've been getting into the television world as of 2025, and I'm going to continue doing it in 2026. Speaking of Miss Tess Hulak, if you're on here, I don't see you in my comments quite yet, but if you're on, girl, I'm coming up to you in Detroit, baby. So I'll come and see you. I'll reach out to you. Let's go grab a cup of coffee. Come into the studio with me. So Live in the D, Detroit, that interview is scheduled next week. So I'm going to go see my Detroit folks out there. So, anywho's, Amazon Prime show is coming up. I don't know why I'm a little nervous. Why am I nervous? I've done this before. So it's a lot of fun. I'm very, very excited. It's basically just going to be like a documentary about my life and how I've gotten here. Because, quick little shout out too, if you go to my YouTube channel, the Hannah Kessler channel, so I have two YouTube channels. I have the Money Multiplier and then also Hannah Kessler. And that's where a lot of my vlogs have been living at. So I just thought it was kind of fun, document my life. More so it's for me. I can go back and see kind of how I evolved throughout this life. But on that YouTube channel of Hannah Kessler, you will see some of my live speakings when I've done NASDAQ, MIT, the Boston Harvard Club, and I really shared this powerful story that I have kind of just suppressed in myself. I was embarrassed about it, something that I don't really like to talk about, but I've just been noticing, and especially a lot of my business owners, when you start to open up and be your true vulnerable self, the good and the bad, more importantly, the bad, a lot of people just start to connect with you on that deeper level. So it's something that I've been trying to work on, kind of get out of that rut, kind of shed that skin and say, hey, this is my life. This is the mistakes I've made. And luckily we turned it around. So it's just something that's been bringing me a lot of prosperity, if you will, and also just a lot of healing too. Good morning, Mr. Dave. Good morning, my man. He says, what is it called? If you're talking about the TV show for Amazon, Women in Power. Women in Power, okay? So I'll let y'all know when it airs as well. It'll be probably like a few months while it goes through the production phases, the editings, and all of that stuff. But I will let you know. I'll be posting about it. Follow me on the social media channels on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all of those fun little places. Yep, Women in Power on Amazon. So thanks for being here. Another Thursday. Oh, and hello, 2026. Good to see y'all. It has been a great past few weeks. We're starting off the new year really well. Hopefully y'all are feeling the same vibe too. And this topic that I wanted to get into today, I think it's good to start this conversation at the beginning of the new year because why this matters within January is this is the time where folks are setting the goals. You're making those resolutions. You are probably, maybe already have received bonuses if you're working a corporate job. You're getting in line. A lot of y'all pay taxes in April, so you're setting yourself up for that. And you really take a look at 2025 and you're seeing where your money actually went. So, with this whole concept of the infinite banking concept, I mean, if this is your first time here, hey, my name's Hannah. I teach what's called the infinite banking concept, becoming your own banker. And this whole concept really structures you that you know how your money is flowing and the different patterns of how you even spend your money. I can tell you my word for 2026 and what I'm really trying to hone in on is doing things intentionally, whether it's how I sleep at night, what I do before I go to bed, what foods I'm putting in my body, who I'm spending my time with. I want to be more intentional with even my thoughts and how I talk to myself. That's my word I'm carrying into 2026 so I can live happier and I can do things intentionally and with purpose rather than just going through the motions of life and kind of get wrecked all around. You know what I mean? So if you don't intentionally capture this cash flow that you're already spending, you're going to notice that it continues to disappear on yourself. So January isn't just about budgeting better. In my humble opinion, it's more about interrupting the leaky bucket that you already have. And so, what do I mean by leaky bucket? A lot of y'all have been following us over here at the Money Multiplier for some time, and you know how I always get into the topic of opportunity cost. But I want to go deeper into that today of what does that opportunity cost really mean? Because it's a powerful subject when it comes to our money, yet we're just not taught how to do it. We're just taught, hey, go accumulate your cash somewhere. And once you need to go buy something or invest in something, you got an opportunity that appears, go and take that money and go and do that. But a lot of us really aren't doing it intentionally. And I want to close that leaky bucket and that leaky gap that you have, because a lot of us, we don't even realize that we're in these financial shackles, if you will, with the banks and other financial institutions. And it's our responsibility to really take control of our money and our wealth. Now, quick pause here. My ring light here is kind of dying. So let me turn on this lamp. It's a little orange. That's why I didn't love it. But let me turn this off. Okay. Now you got orange view. Sorry. Hotel lighting today. Anywho's, so I want to talk about two subjects. I want to talk about the annual pattern of spending, and I also want to get into one of Nelson Nash's laws, which is use it or lose it. And I want to discuss what Nelson really meant when he's talking about use it or lose it. So, hey, if you do have Becoming Your Own Banker book, it's a chapter within the early pages. I want to say, if I'm going off of memory, I want to say like it's on page number between 14 to 21, somewhere in there is where use it or lose it chapter is at. But when Nelson is talking to us about his rules and his laws, use it or lose it is one of them. And what this means is that money that is not captured in a system, you're going to be spending it. Banks, governments, and corporations, they understand this. But as us, the working American public, we rarely do this and we rarely understand this. So this is not about spending it recklessly. It's about putting money somewhere before it escapes you in your hands and your family forever. Because money without a job will always find one. It's whether you are going to control it and find that job for that little green soldier, your dollar. And usually, a lot of us don't have those little green men working for us. And I'm not just talking about investments, right? I'm talking about how you are spending the money that you're already spending. That's what this whole concept's already that's what this whole concept is all about, right? So I'm going to bring up my screen here. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Watching from Rwanda. Hello. Let me pull up my screen here. And I kind of want to get into my annual pattern of spending. Now, again, as I'm still learning, I wonder if I pull this up. Nah, we'll just keep it right here, just so I can see you guys and I can see the chat. All right, but y'all can see my graph here, correct? And when you see my graph, I'm going to go through the different ways of how you're already spending your money. So let's talk about it. Green line is my payments, how much money I'm spending on this. And my red line is the interest that I'm spending on each of those items that I'm buying. So of the money that you're already spending, 20 cents of every dollar goes to automobiles. 30 cents of every dollar goes to your housing. 40 cents of every dollar goes to your living, the gas, the food, the cell phone bill, yada, yada, right? Our living expenses. And then we're trying to save 10%. So all of that makeup, we are trying to save 10% while we're spending 20 cents on auto, 30 cents on housing, and 40 cents on our living. And again, we're trying to save the 10%. Now, do y'all know what the average savings rate in America is today? Go ahead and put it in the chat. I was just looking this up. What is the average savings rate in America today? And as y'all's comments are coming in, it is anywhere between 4 to 6% as of me looking this morning. 4 to 6% is our average savings rate here in America. Now, before the recession, it was actually a negative number. But ever since the recession, people started to hunker down more and they started to save more. But I'm going to make believe that y'all are an above average group of people and you are saving 10 cents of every dollar, 10% of what you make. So here's where I'm a little different. A lot of your financial advisors, your financial coaches, they're coming to you and they're talking to you about the money that you're already saving. And what they're asking you is, hey, let me help you take this money that you're saving, and I'm going to go get you a higher rate of return on the money that you're saving. But in order to do that, that's going to involve more risk, is it not? I got to go place this money into an investment. And here's my definition of an investment. An investment has some risk to it. It can go up in value, but it could also go down and lose value. That's my definition of an investment. And just a real quick nugget. I know a lot of people like to look at the infinite banking concept and their policies as an investment because it does grow in value. But the policy is not an investment because the policy guarantees us an interest rate that the insurance company has to pay us every single year. So it can never go down and lose value. This is not an investment. This is just the place of where I store and keep my money at. Here, if my financial coach is coming to me and saying, hey, let me show you how to take this money that you're already saving, and I'm going to go and get you a higher rate of return of that saving money, it's going to involve more risk. So let's put it in this perspective. I'm not going to come and talk to you about the money that you're already saving. What I'm going to come and talk to you about is the money that you're already spending, the spending habits and the spending patterns that you already have. So here's what I'm saying. Let's look at just the interest alone that you're sending out the door to those other people. 5 cents of every dollar goes to interest on your automobiles. Now, a lot of you may be thinking, well, Hannah, not me. Not me. I don't pay any interest when I buy my cars because I pay cash for all of my cars. A lot of you do. A lot of y'all will say that. But here's the thing. No matter if, let's take the example of me going to go buy myself a $25,000 car. And say I have a $25,000 bill in my pocket and I need to go buy this car. A lot of y'all love to pay cash for those cars because when you pay cash for things, you're thinking, well, I don't have to have any payments and I'm not going to be paying any interest. If I have a $25,000 bill sitting inside of my checking account and I go and pay for that car in cash, one payment, well, what's the difference between one payment of 25,000 or 25 payments of $1,000 each? A payment is a payment, no matter if it's one payment or it's split up over 25 $1,000 payments. You see what I'm saying? A payment's going to just be a payment. And the interest side of it, this is what I always refer to as the opportunity cost of our money. If I have that $25,000 bill and I'm just going to go and give it to the car salesman, that 25,000 had to leave my pocket. I had to withdraw that money out, go give it to the car salesman so that they have my money and now I have the car, but guess what I don't have anymore? I no longer have that $25,000 in my pocket earning me interest any longer. So I have to go out there, work for it, earn it somehow to get it back inside of my pocket, making me interest again. So when I start to filter the money through my own banking system first, i.e., my whole life policy designed for high immediate cash value, I'm closing the gap of this leaky bucket. That's what I'm referring to as the leaky bucket when I'm paying cash for things. Because now I'm spending that money out and I no longer have it with me, my family earning me any interest any longer. Now on housing, let's talk about this. I know it's probably not a big surprise. A lot of us know this, but if you don't, it's a very big eye opener. On our housing, 25 cents of every dollar goes to interest in our housing. If you ever look, or I should say it this way, if you ever get yourself a traditional 30-year mortgage, in the first 7 years of that 30-year mortgage, 80% of your payments are just going to the interest alone. I'm going to say that again. On a traditional 30-year mortgage, in the first 7 years, 80% of those payments are going to interest alone. And a lot of the times, the average years that somebody sells their house or they refinance it is anywhere from 5 to 7 years. I know some people could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, especially for like my vets. I talk to a lot of you veterans too, or my folks on active duty. Y'all are always moving around. But averagely, is that a word? We're going to use it as a word today. Averagely, 5 to 7 years, people are selling their house or they're refinancing it. And now they're starting that clock back over again of how much of their portions of their payments is just going to the interest alone. Again, how can I close that gap? How can I not spend out that interest to the bank or other financing companies? And how can I recapture that interest back to me? I'm seeing some of my comments in here. Shane's coming in. Good morning, Mr. Shane. 80% towards interest is huge. It is. It is. So with this annual pattern of spending, I just want y'all to take a look at how much of our money is going back to ourselves rather than leaving the money on the table and spending it out to somebody else. Because the whole problem is that money is flowing out first. This is how you guys operate with your money. You get money in, you go pay everybody else first, the car people, house people, Bobby's soccer practice, Susie's piano lessons. You pay everybody else first, and you just hope and wait that there's some money left over for you. And you're saving this what's left over. And most of the time, there's anything left at the end of the month for yourself. My urge for you, as we're sitting here on the 8th of January right now, is start incorporating the principle of you paying yourself first. I know we've all heard that before. Pay yourself first, but I actually want you to do it. Even if I have to set up almost a sweep account, if you will, or an automatic draft from one checking account to the other checking account so it automatically does it for you. Just get started and do it. Here's what I like to do. When I get money that comes in, I bring that money in, I look over the month of what happened previous month, so I kind of know how much I should be paying myself first, but let's get into that topic at another time. But when my money comes in, the first thing I do before I pay any of my expenses or my bills is I will take a sliver of that money and I will set it to the side in a separate, segregated checking account. And that's me paying myself first. I literally, on my phone, in my US bank, because I have two banks that I bank with, and one of them is US Bank, living in Kansas City. That was my first ever bank account when I opened up when I think I was like 14 years old or something. Mama helped me open it up. And I remember that US Bank, it was right there in Olathe, Kansas. It was inside of the Price Chopper in town. I think Price Choppers are still around. All my Midwest people chime in. Now I'm a Publix girl living in Florida. But when I opened that first checking account, I was using it. And then as I evolved, I started opening up other checking accounts. I have my business accounts. I have some trust checking accounts. I have a foundation checking account as well. But I have held on to this checking account, and actually it's a student checking account still to this day. And how I know that is because I had to order some more checks just earlier this week, and it literally still says on there student checking account. I at some point got to look into that, see if I need to update that. But it's been working out so far. And I renamed that account in my mobile banking app. I renamed it to pay myself first. So then it reminds me every time I'm going in there to pay myself first before I go and pay any of my other expenses. I was even toying around with this idea because I have a bookkeeper within my business and she's tremendous. She's amazing. And I was even thinking about asking Kim, hey, Kim, do you think you could even help me just move money over here, help me pay myself first? So that's another little life hack, lean on your team to hold you accountable when you are paying yourself first. But that money that I'm paying myself first, that's the dollars that I need to start flowing into my policy. So here's what I'm saying. If I could just take this automobile of me spending 20 cents of every dollar. Now, given this is not just the purchase price of the car, I'm talking about the upkeep, the insurance, the gasoline for the car, all of that is included in here. But if I could take this automobile and change it instead of 20 cents of every dollar, move it down to 15, and then take this 5 cents and move it to my savings category, and my savings moves from 10 cents up to 15 cents, I just increase my savings by 50% by simply saving that money that I was already spending on automobiles. That's all I'm doing. We are going to go through life. We're going to continue to buy cars. We're going to continue to buy houses. And we're going to continue to need to pay for our living expenses. So if I can just close this gap on the money that I'm already spending and move it to my savings category, that's the dollars that I'm now recapturing and recycling through my own banking system. You always hear even pops, my dad, talk about that all the time, recycle and recapture. Even my mama, when dad first started to learn about this, 2006 was the first time he heard about it, never started his policy till 2008. And when he brought this concept to the family, mom was always like, recycle and recapture. What does that even mean? I'm not understanding what this means. And once mom really evolved in this concept and was seeing what dad was doing, paying off the debts and using the policy, she's like, okay, I get it now. I'm getting it, because the whole reason of why I'm parking my money in the policy first, or flowing the money through the policy first, is because now I'll never lose out on the interest that's earned on that money for the rest of my life. So now I truly am recycling and recapturing these dollars, because I'm able to spend the money and buy the things that I want, but I'm also able to save at the same time. You see what I'm saying? And given y'all, I mean, if you know of a better vehicle than a whole life insurance policy that has these features and benefits that allow you to do these things, please tell me. Okay, my family's been looking for a long, long time, and we've never been able to find anything better. But this is the whole concept of what I want you to grasp, of me using this system to buy the things that I'm already going to go buy. Because a lot of us will leave here today. You guys are going to leave my Money Morning Show. You're going to go back to your day-to-day life, get back to your business, and you're going to kind of forget, hey, why did I even start this policy in the first place? That happens quite often. And I get it, because it's not traditional mindset. It's not what people are talking about when they're sitting at a group dinner with their friends. Most of them are talking about, hey, how much are you matching in your 401k, right? So my urge to you is continue to hang around the Money Multiplier family and use the system that you have. Don't be afraid to use this thing, and check in on your policies. If you need to do it on a monthly basis or even weekly, just to start out and get yourself into this new mindset, these new habits, do it. Okay, just do it. Because as Nelson Nash says, use it or lose it. Another analogy, and you guys know this, it's almost like if I don't use my brain, maybe I'm not reading as many books, my brain muscle is going to lose in its capacity. If I'm not getting up and going for walks, going to the gym, doing my yoga that I like to do, my muscles are going to lose that capacity and that strength that I built up. It's the same thing with this banking system. You need to use it. Use your system for the things that you're buying. Does that make sense? All right, let me see what some of these comments are coming in. Good morning, Mr. Dexter. Hey, Lisa. Happy New Year to you both. All right, let me get into some of my notes here of what I taught. What I was thinking. All right, I wanted to also go over this section. Here's kind of where people get this wrong and some common mistakes that I'm seeing. A lot of us try to budget with emotions, or we're waiting for that extra money to come in. Or sometimes people are even hoping that they have this discipline that's going to save them. They're hoping that this discipline with this will save them, and they're letting their income increase and inflate their lifestyle. So here's what I mean. This is another chapter from Nelson's book. It's Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law states that once was a luxury is now a necessity. That's a big common factor that I see as well. When you start to see your income rise, you'll start to notice that your expenses start to rise as well. And this is where I kind of enjoy Dave Ramsey's messaging of live within your means. Yes, I want you guys to enjoy life, but also you need to keep track of, okay, what is a luxury? What is a necessity? It's almost like when I'm going on TV and I'm talking about how to talk to your money, how to talk to your kids about money. I'm always talking about discuss with them the differences between needs and wants, and help your kids prioritize a need over a want. A lot of you adults even need to hear that conversation too. Know the differences between a need and want, and prioritize the needs over the wants. I even fall victim to this. Being a Gen Z, in that generation, when I scroll on my Instagram page, there's so many shops that pop up and ads that are popping up and some like really cool products. Okay. I literally last night, I don't know if y'all been seeing this too on your feeds, but there's this earwax cleaner that it looks really cool because like there's a whole thing where like, hey, don't use Q-tips because the Q-tips are just pushing the wax back into your ears. So like this Q-tip cleaner will go in and kind of like scrapes the walls of your ears. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool. I kind of want to try it. But I allow myself, I have rules for myself. I open that tab into my external Safari page and I hold it there and I hold it for a minimum of 48 hours. And if I'm still thinking about that product, that's when I'll go in and I'll go buy it. I'm like, okay, I think I do really want this thing instead of just impulsively buying things. I'll tell you because I'm still a victim of this too. I went and I impulsively bought those clocks. Here, I'm actually going to show it. Black Cat old timer clock. Let's do it this way. See if my images. Yeah, look at this, baby. Look at this. Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen. Stop share. We're going to share a screen. Look at these things. You seen these? I bought one for my house and I love it. Oh, wait, I gotta add to the stage. There you go. Have you guys seen these before? The black old timer clocks, you know what I mean? Oh, this was such an impulse buy, but I love it. It's in my kitchen. But it's stuff like that. Like I just need to make sure that I am even following my own rules that I have for myself. Anyways, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but it's really cool. I just got it in the mail not too long ago, right before the holiday time. Anywho's, as I'm reading some of these comments are coming in, hold on. Yes, love it. My grandma had one. I've seen those before. Good, y'all. Good. All right. Here's my big message I'm trying to say. You don't have a money problem. You really just have a flow of money problem. Where's my money flowing? How disciplined am I with this money? And if you truly use your system properly, aka your infinite banking system, your whole life policy properly, now you're able to capture this money before the spending happens. You're able to create a place for the money to pause for a second. And it really forces you intentionally to create these better money habits for yourself. I told you my word for 2026 is intentional. And that's what this policy allows me to do, is live more intentionally with how I'm spending my money. Here's what needs to happen. Number one, premiums come first. Your premiums come first. That is you paying yourself first. Premiums should always come first. Let me show you actually. I need to, after I get done on my show this morning, I have my premium notice in the mail. I'm going to call in to the insurance company and I'm going to make sure that I pay my premium notice. Even though it was due on the 2nd of January, I'm a little late, which, FYI, in your policies, you do have a 30-day grace period, okay? If something happens, you need to push it off for a little bit, just know that when policy premium comes due, you do have a 30-day grace period to make up those premiums. So we're sitting here on the 8th of January. My premium was due on the 2nd, so I'm going to call in today, get this thing paid up. And a little side note, in here, because this is one of my first policies that I bought, I'm going to kind of fold it here because I don't really want all my information out there. But what's really cool is when I go in and I pay my premium. So look, premiums for 12 months. This is my base premium. You see this $3,000? $3,000 is my base premium. You see that you have a loan interest section. Okay, so that's how much I know of how much I owe on this policy loan, because right now it's telling me on this sheet I have a 41,545 balance on this loan that I have outstanding. So I'm going to always pay my loan interest. And then right here, the 2,900, we'll call it, that's the monies that are going into my paid up additions. So literally my first ever policy, this policy, because when I started it, it was a monthly premium, but now I switched it to an annual premium. This policy is built as a 50-50 design, literally. So all you folks want to get hung up in 1090s. I want as small base premium as I possibly can. Hey, just FYI, this is how I'm over here designing my policies. Anyways, I know there's pros and cons of why we design the policies different ways, but to kind of go back like on my notes I always like to talk about, don't neglect that base premium, y'all. All right, keep paying those base premiums. That's what's going to continue to keep this foundation and momentum of money moving and moving when I'm forced to drop off my paid up addition riders. Okay. Dexter's saying, are you saying instead of upgrading to a cheeseburger, I have to keep eating my plain hamburger? Hey, if the cheese comes with it, it's all right. But if you're paying 50 cents a pop for cheese, maybe consider it. Just kidding, my man. All right, Dave is asking a question. Speaking about making premium deposits, should I call in after the payment is cleared to find out how much I can put into the PUA? Yes. I just did this yesterday for another client. Tab, good morning. I know you listen as well if she's on here. Yes, wait for your premium to process. And then once the premium gets processed, you see it online because you'll have your online portal directly with the insurance company. Send an email, or Dave, you could even have your implementation agent write in to the insurance company directly as well. We'll do it for you. But I just write in an email to policy service and I say, hey, just paid my premium. How much extra paid up additions can I make into my policy this year? I'm going to do the same thing after I pay this premium here. Lisa's asking, do you pay loan interest monthly? I do not. I pay my loan interest annually. Reason being is some of this money, I actually, on my spreadsheet, I got to look at my spreadsheet because I got these 8 policies. And on my spreadsheet that I keep, I know where this money went and how I'm spending it. And here, as I say that, y'all are probably like, Hannah, what spreadsheet? So let me link y'all to a video of a podcast episode that I did where I talked about how to expand your policies and your banking without overextending yourself. Here, I'm going to put this in the chat. There's a YouTube link for y'all. It's a powerful episode. A lot of y'all really enjoyed that. You guys wanted my spreadsheet. I'm happy to send it to you. But to answer your question, Lisa, no, I don't. I've been actively using my policy cash values elsewhere. And then over time, if I got extra money just hanging out in my checking account, I will move that money to my policies. And anytime I pay back my policy loans, me paying back the policy loan is paying down the principal of that loan that's outstanding. And now it's paying down the interest that I'm being charged on that loan. Does that make sense? So it's just a bunch of accounting work. So I have the insurance company tell me how much loan interest that I owe and pay at the end of the year when my premium comes due. Lisa's saying, or can I pay it when I pay loan off? Here, let's just recap that because Lisa, I want to make sure that you understand this. Let's get into the topic of policy loans real quick. A question I get a lot is, Hannah, is there a maximum time or a maximum amount of loans that I can take out of my policy? And the answer is no. Because sometimes I think people think that when they're taking out policy loans, like a number example, let's say I have a cash value bucket of $20,000 but I only need 10,000. So I go inside of my policy and I take a loan of 10,000 in January, and then in March, I need another loan of 10,000. Well, I have money still sitting inside of my policies. In March, I'll take another loan of 10,000. Sometimes people think that, oh, well, I took a loan in January, took a loan in March, so I have two loans that are outstanding. No, 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 no. This is just one total loan that you have outstanding with the insurance company. And again, it's just all accounting work. We're going to be charged that loan interest on the amount of time that the money is outstanding for. So in January, you're being charged your 5% loan interest starting immediately on that 10,000 that you've taken out. And then in March, when you take out the next 10,000, then you're going to be charged policy loan interest on 20,000 starting in March. You see what I'm saying? So I, again, just have the insurance company tell me at the end of the year when I get my premium notice in the mail, how much loan interest that I got to pay back to them. Oh, hey, and Dave, Dexter's chiming in saying, always call and ask/request additional PUA. He does this quarterly. Good. Mr. Shane is saying, PUA is an awesome money hack to build up my personal banking system. Took me over a year to realize it was possible to do. Thanks for covering the PUA, Hannah. You're welcome, Mr. Shane. All right. Let's get into our steps real quick. Just one last time. Premiums come first. Second comes the spending of the money. And third, loans replace that lost liquidity. Here's what I'm saying. Use it or lose it. When you are taking policy loans out, I know you are in control of that transaction now. You took a loan from yourself. Be disciplined. Be an honest banker. Pay yourself back and charge yourself that extra interest. Little asterisk there. Yes, yes, yes. My investors, I know you guys are doing something different. But seriously, even if I am investing my money in the lending deals that I do, I'm continuing to look over my financials every single month. And again, if there's money that's sitting stagnant inside of my checking account, I will take that money, pay back some policy loans. For my IBC vets, what I really do is number one, I max out any extra paid up edition premium first. And then number two, once I've done that, then I'll start taking that money and paying back my policy loans. So this whole concept, it doesn't stop you from spending your money. Again, it just changes where the money goes first. That's all we're making the change on. I always like to use the analogy. It's if I'm going to go to the grocery store or Walmart or wherever, right? Think of your policy as the gas station. You hop in your car, you're noticing that you're low on gas, and so you need to make the first pit stop of the gas station. That's your policy. My first pit stop gas station is my policy. Then I continue on and I go to Walmart. That's me buying the item, the product, the services. So it's just adding the one additional step of where the money goes first. And the time is now, y'all. It's January. All right, we're sitting here January 2026. W-2s are coming in, K-1s are coming in, bonuses are being paid if they haven't already been paid. You're having meetings with your tax advisors and your tax professionals, and those are being estimated. And people are really in that mindset of deciding what kind of year should this be for me. You're setting your goals, you're setting your expectations for myself. And I just want to ask y'all, where is your money flowing first? Is maybe the year that your money should start flowing first to you and your own banking system, and then go pay everybody else next? And within my lifestyle too, I'm not going to take a hit within my lifestyle, because here's another what's the right word? Here's another suggestion, if you will. When you're getting into this concept, I would really start looking at this policy and identifying those good, comfortable premiums, matching it up to your net cash flow. Example, if I'm the type of individual and I'm bringing in $10,000 a month as income. And let's say my expenses are $8,000 a month. That difference of the $2,000 that you're keeping at the end of the month, that's a good starting point of where the money should be flowing as your premiums into your policy. Take the money that you're keeping, and that's the money that should start to flow through towards more policy premium. So really, y'all, January is this only month that we can kind of redesign the year. I love January. Let me tell you something else. I'm a big YouTube nerd, okay? I was watching a YouTube video last night, getting ready for bed, and a question was asked to this one girl. She goes, "Hey, what's your favorite holiday?" And she replied back, "New Year's Eve." New Year's Eve is her favorite holiday. And I was like, wow, a lot of people don't say New Year's Eve is their favorite holiday. But after she said that, I'm like, you know what? I think that might be my favorite holiday too, because it's a conscious effort of like almost everybody within the world that we are here, we're starting fresh, we're starting new. And obviously, don't totally go off the bandwagon with it all. Be reasonable with yourself, be kind to yourself. But I really love the New Year's Eve week and just that whole time, because I know a lot of people are getting into those positive changes that they want to see for themselves and their households. So it's just a brilliant time of the year. I'm very excited to get started. We got a lot of stuff within the works this year. Hey, coming up, Money Game Live. Let me put this in the little description there, moneygamelive.com, Tampa, Florida, February 28th and March 1st. I'm locking in a very, very exciting speaker. That should come down the pipe hopefully next week, maybe the following week. But I'm telling you, big name is going to be coming out to Tampa. I'm very, very excited for it. So go and snag your tickets now. Be in the room if you're really ready to start living more intentionally, getting control of your money situation and what you have going on. You guys need to be in the room. So again, I am here in Langhorne today. So shout out my Pennsylvania people. Come out to Larry's Thursday class tonight. Larry Steinhaus, investorschooling.com. You can reach out to them or send me a text. You can even shoot me over an email as well. I can get you that information of what's happening tonight. It's a free class. So come and join us. Free stuff going on tonight. But we just need to start to change the mindset of, instead of me being a consumer, I really want to start to change the mindset that I'm this cash flow manager, if you will. Because if you think about it, you're either going to be funding your own bank or you're funding somebody else's system. So what one do you want to do? If I just put it like that, option A or option B, fund your own bank and your own lifestyle, or fund somebody else's bank and let them use your money while they're giving you pennies on the money that you're keeping there with them. So in this 2026, your money's going to be used, or is it going to be lost? I mean, really, the choice is up to you. So I think that's all my thoughts I really had today. I just really wanted to kind of get back to the basics. Use your system. Don't forget why you even started this journey in the first place. And as I close out here today, just looking over at some of the comments, Dexter, good tip there. PUA is key. Start immediately using it. Very beneficial. Another person, sorry. And I'm currently watching the Denver Mastermind replay videos. How is the Tampa event different? We are contemplating coming if it will provide more value and help. Living in Phoenix, West Valley. Love it. So the difference, okay, here's the difference between the Denver Mastermind that we had in October to Money Game Live. Let me give you a little bit of context too. It's been a lot of fun. It's evolved since we first started. I went to Dad when I was 19 years old, and I said, Dad, we have our people all across the United States who are practicing becoming your own banker, and we need to hold an event to get to the basics, help them understand the systems that they have, and allow them to connect with other like-minded people who are doing the same journey with them. And that's where I held the first ever Money Multiplier Mastermind in Daytona Beach, Florida. I want to say that was 2019. After that, we started to do more annual events. I kind of took it from there, doing more and more of the Money Multiplier Mastermind. And I want to say that this last Denver event, that was number 6. I want to say it was number 6 of the Money Multiplier Mastermind. I could be wrong. I got to go back to my memory bank and look at some stuff. But the Money Multiplier Mastermind, it's everything the infinite banking concept. That's all we talk about is the foundation to becoming your own banker, 2 days, everything IBC. Money Game Live started because I had a lot of people coming up to me, and I will say the majority of the people that show up at our front door, they're in debt. I mean, 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and that number keeps increasing every single year. So they show up at our front door and they're like, hey, I have this boatload of debt as well. I heard your father's story of how he paid off almost $1 million of debt in 39 months. How can I do that? Can you help me, please? And so that's where we continue to show them how to use the policies to pay off the debts. Once the debt gets paid off, they start to come to me and they say, well, hey, my debt's paid off. I'm keeping more of my money. I got more cash flow that's coming in. I want to go do something with this money. How do I go put my little green men to work? And that's where Money Game Live came about. Our first event that we held for Money Game Live was February of 25. So this will be our second event in February of 2026. It'll be myself and Larry Steinhaus co-hosting this event together. And the purpose of the event is to bring out the top experts in the industry of the alternate investing world. Residential assisted living, Isabel Garino, she'll be out there. Don Pendleton from Protect Wealth, he is coming out and talking about tax strategies. Walter is coming out talking about multifamily. I'm going to be showing how I use my policies within private lending. We're going to get into velocity banking. I don't know if y'all have gone down that rabbit hole yet, the velocity banking, how to marry velocity banking with the infinite banking concept. We're going to be getting into that. And what else do I have? Note investing, how to have real estate without the tenants, turnkey rentals, Section 8 housing. So there's so many different asset classes that we could be getting into. Oil and gas. I like oil and gas for the depreciation for tax purposes personally. So Courtney's going to come out, talk about that. So it's really for my people to understand these different asset classes, whether you're identifying where should I be putting my money to work at? Because I always say, invest in the things that you like, know, and understand. And you don't have to be so diversified out. Just have your one specific niche and go that route. Test those investments first. So I just want to expose y'all to the different things, the pros and cons of these different areas of investments. And if you're like myself, I put it on my calendar over the year of 2025. But one of the goals that I didn't hit in 2025 is I want to diversify my portfolio more than what I do. And really, this event too, as my mentor always says, always appeal to self-interest. It's kind of for me as well. I want to see what other asset classes I want to get myself into and invest, because I know this year has been a big year for tax strategies. 2025 was for myself. And so now I'm investing more strategically in using the tax code efficiently to my benefit. So that's what's happening in Tampa. Hopefully I answered the question. but it's really about how can I go put my little green men to work, and how can I master the money game. Money Game Live, that's how it all came about, is mastering the money game. But I was like, Tony Robbins has his book, Mastering the Money Game. I don't know if I can totally rip that thing off. Which, speaking of, quick little plug and shout out, Mastering the Money Game by Tony Robbins book. Chapter 5.4 of that book, it talks about the infinite banking concept. Just saying. So if this is you and where you're at right now, holler at your girl. I'm here. I'm going to put my email down below one more time for y'all. Send me an email, hannah@themoneymultiplier.com. Also, if it's been a while, you've been around, you haven't seen or been around the presentation in the community in some time, maybe it's a good time to start going back to just the presentation, seeing why you even started this in the first place, themoneymultiplier.com/presentation. I actually have a meeting next week with a client who's been around. She's had her policy since 2015, and I get it. She's kind of freaking out right now because she has a very, very big tax bill, but she hasn't been around the community. She hasn't been absorbing and being a sponge. And she got her policy over a decade ago, now getting into year 11 of her policy. And so we kind of just have to sit down, go back through the basics, and kind of refresh of why we even started this whole journey. So that's another big PSA. If it's been a while and you haven't connected with your implementation agent, if you're a client of the Money Multiplier, you have your designated person, Larry, Jerome, Wesley, Ethan. Connect with them. Get on a one-on-one call with them. They're there. They create you visual tools to help you use the policy. I mean, trust me, y'all, my biggest beef with y'all is that I know it's a free service, and a lot of you just sometimes don't value the free service. I mean, to the point that I made the joke in Denver. I'm like, I'm going to start charging for this service if you guys don't take this seriously. So get connected with your implementation agent. It's the start of the new year. They'll update your tools for you and just get in tuned with, okay, what am I trying to do within my monetary life, and how can I utilize this policy to help me to reach those goals? So good. I answered the question. Very good. Oh, Dexter says that was epic Florida event. I was there. I got a ride in the plane. Yes, my man. All right. Well, hey, y'all, I'm going to close it out today. I got to start getting over there to Larry's office. Hopefully, I will see you guys. Send me a text or shoot me an email. Come out tonight for class. I want to say class is going to start around 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight. Come and hang out. It's also virtual, okay? So send me an email. I'll make sure that you get the Zoom link. Again, it's a free class, so come and join later tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And if you want help designing a system that captures your annual cash flow before it disappears, reach out to me. So let's make 2026 the year your money finally starts working for you instead of giving it out to somebody else. Can we all agree on that? All right. I will see you guys next week, next Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, sharp. And until then, have a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. Do well. Be great. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.